Salutations. What's good, YouTube? Black guy here with another video. Today, I'm coming at you with some domination on Raid. I'm gonna let you know right now, I did not do that good in the first half, but I ain't gonna spoil nothing for you. But yeah. How you guys doing? I'm back here with another introspective look at my personal favorite video game franchise of all time. That would be Call of Duty. Now, as I'm sure anyone who plays first-person shooters is aware, the cream of the crop, Call of Duty, has been letting us down the last few years. For me, ever since Ghost came out, it just started a downhill snowball effect that hurts my feelings because I bought and played every single Call of Duty game ever made up until this point. I've seen the peaks and valleys with this game, and I've come to realize that what started out as a humble, grounded game that they kind of just wanted to portray war and be fun, it has now turned into something that is more money focused and cash grab driven. So it seems like in the process of becoming America's most popularized gaming franchise, they also managed to like alienate and neglect the fans who were there from the very beginning, myself included. The people who use their like genuinely honest word of mouth reviews to get the game to where it is today. I remember back in like 2008 when Call of Duty didn't have worldwide acclaim and like TV commercials and like deals with Doritos and Mountain Dew, but still had an outstanding cult following from previously releasing just better games than the games they release now. Back in the original Modern Warfare trilogy days, you'd be hard pressed to find a YouTuber or anybody for that matter who was saying Call of Duty was a bad game. Of course, the gaming industry was in a whole different frame of function back then because this was like pre-loot boxes, so everything wasn't money driven, and you could more or less get an entire game at launch because development was more focused on fruitful in-game content and fun, as opposed to launching with a bunch of microtransactions and post-launch content. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Basically, the focus seems to have gone from making the game that fans want to just making a game that they can advertise very well, under deliver, fill with post-game loot for people to buy, and just try to focus on getting as many new people into the game as possible instead of building upon the cult following that they already had and gained over the previous years since like Call of Duty 2, where I feel like that's where they began to pick up steam. So when I say hardcore fans drive the game, what I really mean is that as a developer or anybody in the gaming industry, I just personally feel that you should care most about the people who support your game the hardest, because not only are they going to buy the game every time you release one, they're going to persuade everybody around them to also get the game and play with them. All of this, of course, would lead to more in-game spending with the microtransactions, which I'm sure is what you guys care about most at the end of the day, because it is a business and it's all about making money. I get it. But that being said, I'm trying to figure out why, as time goes on, games they just cater to the newer, more indifferent crowd, like the people who weren't there from the beginning and who didn't support you when you had nothing. To add like a little further credibility to what I'm saying and how I feel, I'm not gonna say too much about skill-based matchmaking because everybody already has on the YouTube platform. But what I do want to ask is this very open-ended question, and I'm going to use my personal experience for reference. The question is like, why would they take the fun out of getting better as a player? I remember like when I first played Call of Duty Online, it was Modern Warfare, like the original one. My cousin put me onto it by like the exact word of mouth advertisement that the hardcore fans would give anybody, exactly what I was speaking about earlier. And not that I wasn't already trying to figure out like willing to play games online, but I just didn't really have the know-how at 12 years old. But when he told me about like how much money he was having and he was explaining to me, what would happen in that online game at 12 years old, it really just motivated me to figure out how to connect my PS3 to the internet. Because before then I honestly had no clue how to do it, and I was just watching stuff on YouTube. And yeah, he was just over there having fun with that classic M16. Like, man, that gun was OP back then. And I don't know. Speaking of which, I'm using the M16 in this gameplay. It's just like whenever an M16 is in Call of Duty, it's so hit or miss. But yeah, like neither here nor there. What I was getting at is that I wasn't the best when I first started out. I had like a 1.8 kill death ratio at the end of that game's life cycle. But even though I knew I wasn't the best, what I relished in was the fact that I was getting better as like each game and each day went on, and I saw my ratio go up, and I got to play with my friends against a random mix of like equal, better, or worse opponents. That honestly kept the gameplay fresh and entertaining looking back on it, because different skill level people play differently, whereas now, since they have all this super strict skill-based matchmaking, I kind of know everybody in my lobby is going to be sliding or drop shotting. And you know what that just made me realize? Like back then, I didn't even know what drop shotting was. I learned that by playing against different skill level people. Like I learned that back in Modern Warfare 2. And that's basically the point I'm getting at, is that like, you actually had a sense of like accomplishment and getting better back in the day, whereas now it seems like you're kind of just banging your head against the wall and getting your matches and gunfights rigged by whatever patent Activision has going on. And back in the day, you could probably go on like win streaks for an entire day, provided your team was inclusively good enough along with yourself. And I just wanted to pose this other question, like, isn't it crazy how unbalanced Call of Duty was back in the day, but it was still like exponentially more fun as opposed to the games we play now? It could just be rose-tinted goggles or nostalgia, but I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent again. My point is like, when you can visibly see yourself getting better at a game and learning, that's where you become more invested as a fan, and at least that's that's where you start loving the game. At least that's kind of how it worked for me, and I'm assuming most people who are OGs and who played Call of Duty back in the day got that same thrill out of getting better at the game and having variety in their matches. Not to basically come onto a rigged casino like disguised as matchmaking that basically just wants me to stay on the game as long as possible and buy all the skins and guns. And honestly, is the system that they designed isn't really doing any justice, because sometimes I be playing and I be like, yo, I am not having a good time. But I just think back to playing Call of Duty all day when I was younger, and I would literally have a good time the entire time I was playing the game until I got off. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm not even gonna like pretend that the microtransactions and skins that they have added aren't cool, at least some of them, but I don't think that's what hardcore fans, really care about at the end of the day. I don't think anybody does, really. Especially when the game itself is like, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel fun all the time. It can be, but it's just not how it used to be. And I'm like I said, that's basically how everybody feels who has played more than 2 or 3 Call of Duties. And I understand that people are buying these skins regardless, so it's like to the publishers and Activision, it's like, we really don't care. But I'm sure those who are just casuals and play the game for like a month, or a kid who got their parents' credit card, is where they're getting the bulk of their money from. I just feel like if the focus is on gameplay and fun more so than on really nice looking skins, Call of Duty wouldn't seem like it was imploding from the inside out due to the lack of passion. It just seems like it's another case of money ruining something that was once great and humble in the beginning. Um, if you made it to this point in the video, I want to ask you a legit question. What got you into Call of Duty? What got you hooked on? What got you hooked onto the game? And at what moment did you know you was like a huge fan? And if you are a longtime fan, do you feel like you're being appreciated and respected for supporting this franchise, or do you feel like you're being more exploited? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. And if you enjoyed today's topic or gameplay, a like and sub is always appreciated. And oh, follow me on Twitter at blackguy223 for social interactions. Until my next video, peace out.
Mission area secured. You made JSOC proud.
Fucking campers.